Hi class, in this video I'm going to be talking about math phrases as expressions. So here I have some math phrases here and I'm just going to convert them to an expression. For this case, to make it more simple, I'm going to let x be my variable for each phrase. So I'm just going to write x for my variable for each of the phrases here. And then we're going to convert the phrases to an expression. So first one is 5 more than a number. Now, the word more than or more, I typically associate that with addition. 5 is a number that we have here. So normally I would actually put down 5 plus a number, and a number I can use x to represent it, right? So I would actually write 5 plus x. However, the word then means something in terms of math phrases. Anytime you see the word then, for the phrase, you always want to write whatever comes after the word then first. So because this is a number that I can use x to represent it with, so I'm going to let obviously x represent this number, and then this would just be 5. Instead of writing 5 plus x, I'm actually going to write x plus 5, because then means any number or entity that comes after it comes first. So now I'm going to write x plus 5 as my expression. Now in this case, is it wrong to write 5 plus x? No, not really, because the order wouldn't matter for addition. But if this was a subtraction question, then order would matter. And then you would want to understand what the word then would do in a math phrase. So moving on to our next example, here it says a number. So a number diminished by 4. Now, for number, I'm going to let x be associated with number. Diminished, I'm going to let it be associated with subtraction. So in these math phrases, there's very common phrases that we use, whether it be doubled, more, diminished, divided equally, or shared equally. These are phrases you're going to have to get good with and associate with each other. So here I have some common phrases for addition. So common phrases for addition are increase, plus, more, age in X amount of years, together, sum, or add. Common phrases for subtraction are decrease, less, age X years ago, diminished by, take away, minus, or subtract. Phrases for multiplication are by, or times, twice, the product, multiply. And phrases for division are quotient, divided by, the dividend, or that shared equally that we kind of talked about earlier. So for this one, a number x diminished by 4, this would just be written as x minus 4. And that's my expression there. Now moving on to the third example, 24 reduced by a number. So I'm going to let x be my number. 24 is still just 24, and reduced, does it mean add, subtract, multiply, or divide? It's going to mean subtract, because we talked about reduce being a common phrase for subtraction. So in this case, this would be 24 minus x, 24 reduced by a number. Okay, now moving on, we're going to get another example here. This is 8 times a number. So times, then a number. Times would mean multiply. So I can write multiply here. A number would be x, and then 8, that's just 8. So this would be written as 8 times a number, which is x. But however, because this is, the expressions are kind of working with algebra here, what we're going to do is, instead of writing 8 times x with this multiplication symbol, we're just going to write 8x. And the reason we do this is because mathematicians back then are kind of lazy, and it's for simplicity. To show multiplication, we would just rather keep it simple and write the number next to the variable and imply that multiplication is happening in lieu of writing the multiplication sign every time. So this would just be simplified to 8x instead of 8 times x. So the most simplified form would be preferred. The next one would be a number divided by 3. So number divided by 3. So in this case, the number would be x, divided means to divide, and then here we have 3. So this would just be x divided by 3. Now, also in algebra, we don't like to use the division symbol either. So when we write this, we actually would prefer to write it as a fraction. So instead of writing 8 divided by 3, I'm going to write, so instead of writing x divided by 3, we're going to write x over 3, or x divided by 3, however you want to write it, but it looks like a fraction. So this is the correct notation to put it in, because we don't want to use the division symbol or the multiplication symbol. Now, for the next ones, a number of coins doubled. So a number can be x, and then doubled. Double probably means multiplied by 2, right? So in this case, I could write this as x times 2, or we can call this x2. But there's one more thing I want to tell you guys now. Another thing mathematicians like to do, we like to place the numbers before the variable. So instead of writing this as x2, we want to write it as 2x instead. It's just more common to see it that way. They still mean the same thing. Instead of saying x times 2 is now 2 times x. So we'll just write it like that. Now, the sum of a number and 3. So sum means to add. A number could be x, and then you have 3. So the sum of a number and 3, this would just be x plus 3. And I wrote x first because it comes on the, because we're reading left to right, it comes on the left-hand side first. Now, here I have 13 subtracted from a number tripled. Okay, before we start, the word from, just like the word then over here, it has a very special meaning. It means whatever number you see that comes, or whatever entity you see that comes after the word from or then, always comes first. So here I have a number tripled. So if it's a number tripled, most likely it's going to be 3x here, or 3 times x, a number tripled. I want to write that first. Now it says subtracted, which is the subtraction symbol here, from 13. So it's going to be 3x minus 13. Now, most people would probably write 13 minus 3x, but again, the word from has a special meaning. So whatever comes after the word from, or whatever comes after the word then, will always comes first in our expression. So we're going to write this as 3x minus 13 instead. Now, in our next example, 11 more than 7 times a number. So 7 times a number comes after then, so it's going to come first. 7 times a number. So this is going to be 7x, and then more means to add. It looks like I'm adding 11. So this is going to be 7x plus 11. Here I have 6 less than a number. Once again, the word then has a special meaning. So a number could be x, but because it comes after the word then, we're going to write it first. Then 6 less than, less means to subtract, and 6 is just 6. So again, instead of writing 6 minus x, this will be x minus 6 because of the word then. Now, twice a number increased by 3. Twice a number means I'm taking a number and I'm timesing it by 2. We'll let the number be x here. And then I'm going to increase. Increase means to add, and I'm increasing it by 3. So this would be 2x plus 3. And again, I would review these phrases for adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing so that you get familiar with these math phrases so you can turn the math phrases into expressions. And again, the 2 words here that also look out for are the words then and the word from, because any entity that comes after the word then or from come first in our expression. And hopefully this gives you a good idea of how to convert math phrases to expressions.